This story is about a snake that rescues a girl from its own queen. At the start of the story, we see a mountain where numerous snakes reside. We hear a voice saying that since the world is created, humans have been betraying the trust of those who love them. The queen of snakes said long ago, "Oh human, don't love me." However, a man fell in love with the snake queen Shahmaran. That man deceived Shahmaran and killed her. After that, he had nothing left but regret and sorrow. After that, many questions arose. Is he a human who always deceives? We are shown a man who falls from the mountain and see he died, but in reality, he didn't die, and he was the same man who deceived Shahmaran. Now, neither did he die nor was he living a peaceful life. After that, we are shown a girl in the story whose name was Sasu. She was eating some medicine in the bathroom, and after a lot of courage, she gets on the train. We find out that Sasu was leaving her city and going to her grandpa. When she comes to her grandpa, she questions him because her grandpa had left her mom for no reason. She questions her grandpa in anger and then leaves. A girl standing far away was looking at Sasu, and she tells her brother Marin about her. Looking at her, it seemed as if she was waiting for Sasu. Marin's sister comes and tells all this to her dad. When Marin's dad hears this, he tells her to find Sasu immediately. What was the reason for all this? We will find out in the story. After that, Sasu comes to her university because she was a lecturer in psychology, and she came to her grandpa's city because she had a presentation. When her senior hears this presentation, she asks her, "Why don't you stay here for a semester and teach?" Sasu didn't refuse and agrees to it. When she comes back from the university, her grandpa comes to her and tells her that her mom knew where I was. That's why she used to write a letter to me. He gives all the letters to Sasu as proof. When Sasu finds out about this, she thinks why her mom was so worried to know all this. Sasu starts reading her mom's letter. She wrote exactly what Sasu was now. She didn't feel sleepy or peaceful. She had weird dreams. When Sasu goes to sleep, she sees that her mom is in a lot of trouble. She wakes up from her sleep. She had to take a bath, but she finds out that the hotel she was staying in didn't have water in the washroom. That's why she goes to the lake and takes a bath. But then, suddenly, a strong gust of wind came and took away Sasu's clothes. Marin was also there, and Sasu asks for help from Marin, and this is where they meet for the first time. When Marin goes home, he gets very angry at his family because they had sent him to a lake on purpose, because Marin's family used to say that a prophecy is a truth. For that, Marin has to meet Sasu, but Marin didn't believe in such nonsense. That's why he was getting angry at his family. That same night, Sasu goes to a festival where she sees a woman selling lockets. She was telling everyone about Shahmaran's story, that she will come back and revive love again. Sasu didn't believe in such things either, but still, I don't know what happened to her. She buys the locket. That's when she hears a snake there, and she goes near the burning fire. But suddenly, the fire started. There was fire all around, and that's when Sasu faints. Marin comes there and saves her, and he leaves her at her grandpa's house. When Sasu wakes up in the morning, she asks her grandpa how I came here. He tells her that he saw her sleeping, so I thought you must have come by yourself. That's when Sasu goes to Marin's house. She asks him what happened last night, but he clearly said that nothing like that happened. Neither was there a fire nor did I save you. Sasu was very upset. She wanted to know what was happening to her. After that, we see Marin's family. They were sitting and talking. That fire is the first sign of that prediction. Sasu is the girl who can be useful to us, but Marin was still against his dad's words. He says that because of your stupid predictions, I won't put anyone's life in danger, because he knew that if Sasu falls in love with him, she will have to pay a heavy price. Sasu throws away all her medicines because she felt that these medicines are affecting her brain badly. She can see all that is not real. On the other hand, we know that Marin was not an ordinary boy. He was a shape-shifting snake. He was both a snake and a human. His family was also made up of snakes. After that, we see some people at a place. They went on a trip to Shahmaran's fort, but God knows what happened to them. And one by one, they jump into the well. This video spread a lot. After that, we see a girl in this story. She had snakes all over her body, and she was telling her servant that Sasu has come now. Play with her mind and bring her to me. This meant that she should be trapped in such problems that she herself comes to me. Who is this girl? and what was her connection with Sasu. We will get to know this in the story. Sasu was now at her grandpa's house. When she was leaving, her grandpa didn't talk to her, but he gives her the car keys. She comes out and talks to Marin. They became good friends. There, Marin talks to his dad and a man. He too was slowly starting to believe in predictions. That man says that we suppressed the fire incident, but everyone knows about the well incident, and the enemy is also aware. Marin's sisters were also talking about this, which tells us that the girl wrapped in snakes is their enemy. Of all the shape-shifting snakes, that is, the humans who could have become humans, Sasu is shown there. Her senior at the university introduces her to a boy named Cyan, who will help her in the future project. As soon as Cyan meets her, he was getting very freaky with Sasu. When Sasu watches the video of the well, she gets scared. Then she remembers that the locket she bought on the day of the festival, where is it? It was lost in that fire incident. That's why she goes to the market to find the stall woman, where she does not find a woman, but a man is seen following her, who was wearing black clothes, and his face was covered. Seeing this, when Sasu goes behind him, he disappeared. There was another man there who was misbehaving with Sasu, and all the people there were looking at her with strange eyes. Sasu gets very worried seeing all this. On the way, she meets Marin. She meets him and tells him everything. Marin tells him that you should go back home. This place is dangerous for you. But on the contrary, instead of understanding what Sasu says, she says to him, "What do you know about me that you are giving me such advice?" Marin says, "I can see. You are scared." After hearing this, Sasu became silent, because it was really like that. Marin's sister talks to him at night. She says, "Why don't you believe everything? You and Sasu need each other. You are the one who is made for her." But Marin says, "No, I can't do this." And because of this prediction, many women have lost their lives. First Sasu's mother and then our mother. I will not tolerate all this anymore. But despite all this, Marin was not going away from Sasu. Sasu's grandfather was taking the same medicines that Sasu used to take. This meant that it was some of their family disease. When Sasu was sleeping at night, the same suspicious man comes into her room. Sasu's locket was also with him. A very big snake comes there. It was wrapped around Sasu while sleeping. When Sasu gets scared of all this, she didn't know about it. Was it a dream or reality? That's why Sasu got tired of all this and went to swim in the lake. The next morning, when she goes to the university, then Cyan tells her to take her with him to eat food. When they were eating food, when Sasu goes to the washroom, she heard the sound of snakes from there, and she felt like it was the sound of water. But as soon as she left, the same man was there, who was following her till now. When Cyan leaves Sasu's house, Marin was also standing outside his house. He was looking at them. This tells us that Marin knew Cyan. They had some relationship, but it was not good. Now at night, Sasu sees the marks on her grandfather's hands. They were like those made by tying hands. The next day when Sasu was at the university, Marin's sister calls her sister to take care of Sasu. But before that, it was too late to take care of her. She sees the man who was following her. While following him, she came to an empty room. When she goes inside, Sasu sees a very big snake there, and the door of the room was closed by itself. But Cyan comes there and saves her, and says that this is just your illusion and nothing else. Sasu was fed up with these incidents that happened to her. She goes to her house, but then we come to know that Cyan was also a snake, and he was sent to take care of Sasu. An old man comes to Marin's dad. He was telling him that the smell of revenge is not coming from the fort of Shahmaran, but from here. These snakes don't believe in predictions now, and if their reality comes in front of humans, that snakes like us live among them, then it won't be good for anyone. The old man says that if there is no love between humans and snakes again, then Shahmaran will not be able to come back, and it will be very bad for all of us. There Sasu reads her mom's next note, in which it was written that she has a sleeping disorder, and this was the reason that she used to tie herself and sleep. That's when Sasu remembers her grandpa's marks. She comes to know that this disease is her mom's, and she has inherited it. When she checks, she gets medicines from her grandpa's wardrobe. When her grandpa comes home at night, Sasu was very drunk. She tells her grandpa that because of you, my and my mom's life was ruined. but her grandpa makes her quiet. That's when Marin sees how drunk Sasu is, so he goes to her, but Sasu was doing strange things with him. When it was morning, Marin was sleeping on the chair. Sasu goes to him. He tells her that you were drunk last night, and I could have taken advantage of you if I wanted to, but I didn't do that. When Sasu was painting with her grandpa, they tell each other about their disease. They were trying to fix their relationship. Sasu goes to Marin. They started liking each other, but when Marin was with Sasu, he feels as if he has a snake, and Marin had caught that snake. When he comes to his dad says that how long will this fight of snakes continue? We're shown that Cyan comes to meet Sasu. When he was going home, we get to know that he was the son of the man who used to work with Marin's dad. But now Cyan was also against Marin. His dad tells him that, look, we should leave what is of no use, and you stay away from Sasu. The next morning, when Sasu wakes up, she was in the jungle. She was not able to understand herself. Why is this happening to her? Then a snake comes and bites her. At the same time, there was also a man who was following her. Before that, he does something to Sasu. Marin comes and saves her, and he also removes the poison from her body. He took her to his house, where the rest of the treatment is done by his sister. When Sasu wakes up in the morning, Marin tells her that I met you unconsciously. You were bitten by a snake. Sasu believes him and goes to her house. But now Sasu remembered everything, what happened to her. That's why she wanted to know about all that. The snake that Marin had caught. Marin goes to him and asks him why he did this. He says that humans are our enemies, and they want to make animals their slaves. But the snake will not tolerate this now. That's why my queen and I will fight against humans together. He was talking about the same queen, whom we had seen wrapped in snakes. And the man who was following Sasu was also his slave. Marin says that okay, I agree, but will you also fight a war? What difference will there be between us and humans? The snake says that our queen has woken up, and in the next scene, we see the girl wrapped in snakes awake. Her awakening was going to be disastrous. Now Sasu also came to Marin's house, where she wanted to know the truth. Who are these people, and what is her relationship with them? But Marin's entire family confuses her in their talks. But Marin's sister found out that Sasu knows everything. Their Marin's skin also started peeling off because of the new skin of these snakes that grow. And during this time, they also become very weak. At the university, Sasu wanted to know about Shahmaran. That's why she tells her students to do research on it. When Cyan sees this, he gets very worried. Marin had also come here. Seeing Marin, Cyan says that you should also befriend me, because you and I know each other's reality, and who knows, in the future you may need me. And he gives his card to Marin and leaves. Marin took Sasu to his old mansion, where he tells him the story of falsehood, that we have a lot of enemies here, and our family fight has been going on for years. Now 2 stories are told to us here. One is found out about Marin that he has a lot of secrets with him. On the other hand, Sasu's family, which had never been able to live in peace till today. But one thing was the same in both of them, that both of them were alone, and both needed each other. They started liking each other. When they were together, Marin's snakeskin started coming out. He goes away from Sasu. His enemies also came to know about this, that Marin has become weak now. Then he calls Cyan and goes after taking Sasu. On the way, he tells him that I love you, and we both will go away from here to spend our new life. Sasu is surprised to hear this, but then she agrees and goes to her house and says that I will think and tell you. Marin's condition was also very bad after going to his house. On the other hand, we see a woman who was finding out about the future, that what is going to happen now. All the animals and cows in the town were dying, and the girl wrapped in snakes was also getting alive, which was a big sign of destruction. When Marin was at home, his sister messaged Sasu that he is leaving the house for a few days, because for a few days, Marin could not meet Sasu, and tells Cyan to keep an eye on Sasu. But Cyan took her to the place of snakes, because he was deceiving Marin, where all the shape-shifting snakes were, and everyone was looking at Sasu with very strange eyes. But he saves her and brings her back to her house, and apologizes that he took her to such a place. Sasu was now scared from all sides. She goes to Marin's house and calls his number. When she hears the bell of his phone, now she felt that Marin is playing a game with her. When Sasu was eating with her grandfather and other people at night, Then her grandfather talks that all the animals are dying in the town, and then also this happened when I left my daughter. When Sasu hears this, she was ready to go with Marin. She said yes to him, but many days pass. Neither Marin gets any message nor phone because he was in the basement due to his new skin growth. When Sasu was swimming in the lake at night, then she meets Cyan, who tells her to take her somewhere with him. Then Marin comes here. Sasu was not understanding anything because both Cyan and Marin had disappeared. They were fighting like snakes. Marin had injured Cyan. After that, he comes in front of Sasu. He says, "Please go away from here with me." But now Sasu was scared, and she says to Marin, "What is the truth? What game do you want to play with me?" Then Sasu gets a call. Her grandfather had gone somewhere. Marin leaves Sasu at home and assures her that don't worry, I will bring your grandfather safely. And we see that Sasu's grandfather was standing on the mountain. The man we saw at the beginning of the story, he was also going to jump from there, but Marin saves him. Marin comes home and tells his dad that Cyan was taking Sasu to the enemies. On this, Marin's dad decides to punish him, but here the man who used to work with him, that means Cyan's dad. Cyan's dad tells him to give my son one more chance. I will make him understand. But when he goes to his son, after seeing him injured, now he also decides that he will support that man in black clothes and will take Sasu to his queen. All of them together control Sasu's senior, who takes Sasu to Shahmaran's mansion the next day, saying that they have a trip. Sasu goes to the same well where people had jumped. There she sees her lost locket, which was hanging there when she was about to go inside to take it. Then Marin's sister comes and saves her. There Marin goes to Cyan and threatens him that you stay away from Sasu. On the other hand, Marin's sister, after seeing the senior, got to know that he is affected by a snake. The enemies have taken control of her. When Sasu comes home, the same woman was taking care of her grandpa, whom we had seen before, who knew about the future. She tells her grandpa to take him to the hospital. Sasu tells her grandpa that you are very important to me. There was a feast in Marin's house at night, where Marin's dad calls everyone. Now because Sasu and Marin were away for so many days, they go to the lake to spend some time. Here at the feast, Sasu's grandpa was also not feeling well. Because of this, he also went to his house. Marin's sister ties that senior so that they can take out the snake hidden inside her. On the other hand, on the lake, Marin sees the marks of the snake on Sasu's back, and he is very happy. It meant that Sasu had also become a snake, or Marin had made her like him. Now he and Marin come back to the feast. Marin takes out the snake from that senior's mouth, because of which she also became free. On the other hand, Marin's servant's wife, who was about to become a mother, her condition also deteriorates. Maybe this was the last prophecy that a person will give birth to a snake. Marin's family helps her. On the other hand, Marin was with her at Sasu's house. His grandpa had taken poison. That's why Marin came in his real form to save him. That means in the form of a shape-shifting snake. Now here we come to know the real story, that Sasu's grandpa was the man who had loved Shahmaran and had cheated her. Here Marin tells Sasu that your grandpa had cheated the Shahmaran queen, and he told humans about her fort address. Shahmaran's sister came to know about this. She went against the humans, so Shahmaran imprisoned her in a deep well with her powers, and gave all her powers to your grandpa, with which he could never die, no matter what happens, and his punishment will be endured by his next generation. When they try to die, they come back to life, and again after losing their memory, they start living a new life. And the prophecy is that a person will fall in love with a snake. The person will be from your grandpa's family. That means you. And a human will have to sacrifice this time. He will have to live with the snakes under the ground. Sasu didn't understand anything about all this. She ran and went to the jungle. There we are shown Marin's dad, who tells that we have to sacrifice Sasu. They didn't even tell Marin about this. Here the same man attacks Sasu in the jungle, who was following him till now, but Sasu escapes from him with her powers. Was Sasu also a snake now? A snake came to Sasu's house and killed her grandpa too. Sasu and Marin both accepted their reality, that they both are snakes now, but they didn't know that this was just the beginning, because Shahmaran's sister was awake. What was going to happen with Sasu and Marin now, no one knew. And with this, the story ends here.